Welcome to Karen's place, the space she uses to innovate. She'll make sure you're left thinking, I could do the same thing. Karen says, just do it. There ain't nothing to it. Just do it.
Welcome back for more from mixed media Tasmanian artist Karen Eastland.
Yes.
This week, we're diving deep into Karen's creative journal for week 9 of 2025.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it's a whirlwind of activity.
It really is.
It is.
It's fascinating to see how Karen is strategically building towards 2026.
Right.
It's like a major launch year for all her work.
Yeah.
Her journal entries reveal such a meticulous approach to not just creation, but also the business side of things.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with that big picture view of 2026.
Okay.
What's Karen aiming for, and how does this specific week kind of fit into her plans?
Well, she's aiming to have the first books in all her series ready for publication in 2026.
Wow.
We're talking Pentague, which kicks off her Sin Eater series.
Right.
Josephine and Jason, a prequel to the Josephine Marlin series.
Wow.
And then there's the intriguing transformation of the adventures of Millie and Sandra
Okay.
into a 4-book novella set.
Oh, wow.
With a spell and ritual picture book accompanying it.
Wow. Talk about ambition. It sounds like she's creating entire worlds for readers to get lost in.
Mm-hmm.
And that long-term vision is reflected even in how she's managing her podcast.
Yeah.
From then to now, right?
Absolutely. She's releasing episodes every 2 weeks, which allows her to build a backlog.
Okay.
This strategic spacing frees up time for editing those novels and novelettes.
Right.
So all of this is ensuring that everything is polished and ready for 2026.
It's like she's playing 3D chess with her creative projects.
Mm-hmm.
But what I find really interesting is how she's incorporating AI into her music creation,
Yes.
specifically with her band Cassidy and the Castoffs.
Yes. During week 9,
Yeah.
they released Breaking the Surface, the final song in a trilogy based on her long-form poem, Lake of Tears.
Okay.
This wraps up their album Revolution,
Right.
which is just one piece of her multifaceted musical output.
Yeah, and she's not slowing down at all.
No.
Releasing a new song every 5 days from one of her various albums.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
I know.
It makes you wonder where she finds the time.
Right.
But here's a curveball. She also mentions that she didn't use AI to write the song Valhalla
Okay.
for her heavy metal band Wrecked and Ready.
Interesting.
So,
That's right. It seems Karen views AI as a tool to expand her creative possibilities.
okay.
Not a replacement for her own artistic vision.
Mm-hmm.
It raises interesting questions about the evolving relationship between technology and artistic expression.
Absolutely. So while she's embracing AI in some areas,
Right.
she's also maintaining a connection to more traditional methods of songwriting,
Yeah,
especially in a genre like heavy metal, where that raw human element
Yeah.
is so important.
exactly.
And speaking of heavy metal, her band, Wrecked and Ready,
Okay.
is where her fascination with Norse mythology really
Yeah.
shines through.
Mm-hmm.
Their album Valhalla is
Yeah.
a prime example,
Yes, and it's not just about the album title. The
right?
title track Valhalla is actually based on an older poem of hers called We Are All Alone.
Wow. I love how she's repurposing and transforming her own work.
It's a testament to her creative evolution. You know, she's not afraid to revisit past creations, finding new meaning and context within them. And it highlights how all of her diverse interests intertwine.
Yeah, this multi-genre approach is also evident in another song from the Valhalla album,
Okay.
Call to the Valkyries.
Right.
It delves deep into those classic Norse themes of Valkyries, Valhalla battle honor, and the warrior spirit.
Yes. And it's important to note that Karen explicitly mentions her interest in mythology.
Right.
This isn't a passing fad for her.
Yeah.
It's a recurring theme that clearly resonates really deeply with her creative process.
So we've got this fascinating blend of ancient mythology,
Yeah.
AI-driven music,
Mm-hmm.
and strategic long-term planning,
Right.
all converging in just 1 week of Karen's creative journal.
I know, it's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing.
What's impressive is how she manages to juggle it all
Mhm.
without sacrificing quality.
Right.
It speaks to her incredible organizational skills and her dedication to her craft. But I do wonder if spreading herself across so many genres could potentially dilute her impact in any one area.
That's a great point.
You think?
It's something to consider as we delve deeper into her work.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's
Mhm.
take a closer look at how she's utilizing AI in her music creation.
Absolutely. That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
She's not a traditional musician in many ways.
Right.
And it's fascinating to see how she's leveraging technology to forge her own path.
So how does Karen actually use AI in her music? You mentioned she's not a traditional musician, so I'm curious to understand how this technology fits into her process.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Karen uses AI primarily for her band Cassidy and the Castoffs,
Okay.
which she refers to as her AI band.
Oh, interesting.
This suggests a deliberate separation
Right.
between her AI-driven music and her other projects,
Right.
like Wrecked and Ready,
Yeah.
where the focus is on more traditional songwriting.
Okay, that distinction is interesting. Does she elaborate on how she uses AI specifically? What software or tools does she mention?
Well, she doesn't delve into specific software details.
But-
She does mention using AI for generating melodies and harmonies.
Right.
It seems she provides the initial creative spark,
Okay.
perhaps a lyrical concept or a basic chord progression,
Right.
and then uses AI to flesh out the musical ideas.
So it's a collaborative process rather than simply letting the AI compose entire songs on its own.
That's right. It seems Karen views AI as a creative partner,
Mm-hmm.
helping her explore musical avenues she might not have considered otherwise.
Okay.
And this approach might explain why her AI-generated music still feels distinctly Karen.
Right.
You know, it's infused with her unique style and artistic sensibility.
That makes sense. It's like she's using AI to augment her own creativity, not replace it.
Exactly.
And it challenges the notion that AI-generated art lacks human emotion or authenticity.
Exactly. It's not about man versus machine. It's about finding ways to harness the power of technology to enhance and expand human expression.
Right.
And Karen's work is a testament to the exciting possibilities that emerge from this collaboration.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, her journal entries also mention her use of software like Reaper and DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah,
This suggests she's quite hands-on in the production process.
absolutely. She's not just composing the music.
Yeah.
She's actively involved in editing, mixing, and even creating visuals.
Wow.
It's a testament to her DIY spirit and her desire to maintain creative control over her work.
And it ties back to her long-term vision. She's not just an artist, she's building a brand.
Right.
And taking ownership of every aspect of her creative output.
Yes. This level of control is crucial for independent creators like Karen.
Right.
It allows her to experiment, explore new technologies,
Right.
and connect with her audience on her own terms.
It's inspiring to see her embracing this entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
Now, with all this going on,
Right.
music novels, podcasts,
Mhm.
it's incredible how she maintains such a consistent output. What's her secret?
Well, her journal entries offer a glimpse into her meticulous planning and time management skills.
Right.
Remember her strategic podcast release schedule?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about building a backlog, it's about freeing up time
Yeah.
for those novels she's aiming to release in 2026.
Right. It's all connected. Each decision she makes feeds into her larger goals.
Exactly.
It's like she's conducting an orchestra of creative projects, each playing its part in the grand symphony of her career.
And that symphony is multifaceted.
Yes.
We've got urban fantasy mystery, reimagined children's stories, heavy metal infused with Norse mythology, and AI-driven experimental music.
a lot.
It's a dizzying array of creative expression.
It makes you wonder if there's anything she can't do.
Right.
But I'm curious to understand more about this transformation of the adventures of Millie and Sandra.
Okay.
What does she say about it?
Well, she describes it as a reimagining of the original story,
Right.
expanding it into a 4-book novella set with an accompanying picture book that focuses on spells and rituals.
Oh, wow.
This suggests she's not afraid to revisit past works, finding new ways to breathe life into them.
It's like she's constantly evolving her creative universe, building upon existing foundations, and inviting readers to delve deeper into the world she's created.
Exactly. And this approach speaks to her understanding of audience engagement.
Mm-hmm.
She's not just creating standalone work, she's
Ah.
crafting these interconnected experiences
Right.
that reward loyal fans and encourage exploration.
It's a smart strategy for building a dedicated following.
Yeah.
But let's circle back to this idea of spreading herself across so many genres.
Okay.
Do you think there's a risk of diluting her impact by being a jack of all trades?
It's a valid concern and something I've been pondering as well.
Right.
While her versatility is impressive,
Mm-hmm.
it's possible that focusing on a few key areas
Right.
might allow her to achieve greater recognition within specific genres.
That's true. Building a strong reputation within a particular niche can be beneficial. But on the other hand, her multi-genre approach could attract a wider audience.
Right.
drawn to her diverse creative output.
It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's up to Karen to decide what path best aligns with her artistic vision and career goals.
Right.
But regardless of the outcome, her journey offers valuable insights for any aspiring creator.
Absolutely. So what are some key takeaways we can glean from Karen's Week 9 journal entries? What lessons can we apply to our own creative pursuits?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say embrace experimentation.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to explore different mediums, genres, and technologies,
Right.
like Karen does with her AI-driven music and her reimagined children's stories.
That's great advice. It's about pushing boundaries and discovering new ways to express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the practical side of things?
Okay.
How does Karen manage to juggle so many projects without burning out?
That's where strategic planning comes in. Karen's journal entries highlight the importance of setting clear goals, prioritizing tasks, and managing time effectively.
Right.
Her approach to her podcast release schedule is a prime example of this.
Right. It's about being intentional with your time and energy, making sure you're allocating resources wisely to support your creative endeavors.
Exactly. And finally, I'd say don't underestimate the importance of building a brand and cultivating a community.
Okay.
Karen's active engagement with her audience and her strategic approach to releasing her work demonstrate a keen understanding of the business side of creativity.
It's a reminder that being a successful creator requires not just artistic talent, but also a savvy entrepreneurial spirit.
Precisely. And with that in mind, let's take a moment to consider how Karen's Week 9 activities, specifically her exploration of Norse mythology, tie into her larger creative vision.
That sounds like a great place to pick up when we come back. So we've talked about Karen's strategic planning, her AI experimentation, her entrepreneurial spirit. But what about the themes that run through her work? Like, how does her fascination with Norse mythology fit into all of this?
That's where things get really interesting. You know, it's not just a surface-level interest for Karen.
Right.
Her engagement with Norse mythology seems to be a source of inspiration, a way to explore deeper themes of human experience.
Yeah. You know, for listeners who might not be familiar with Norse mythology, it's a rich tapestry of gods, goddesses, monsters, and heroes.
Right.
It deals with epic battles, profound losses, and ultimately the cycle of death and rebirth.
Exactly, and these themes resonate so strongly with Karen's work. Think about her heavy metal band, Wrecked and Ready.
Right.
I mean, the name itself suggests a sense of resilience, of pushing through hardship and emerging stronger on the other side.
And then there's the album title Valhalla, which, in Norse mythology, is the hall where warriors who die in battle go to feast and prepare for Ragnarok, the end of the world.
Exactly.
It's a powerful image that speaks to themes of courage, sacrifice, and the inevitability of fate.
And let's not forget how she transforms her poem, We're All Alone, into the song Valhalla.
Yeah.
It's as if she's taking this personal reflection on isolation and loss and reframing it within this grand mythical context.
It's like she's finding solace and meaning in these ancient stories.
Yeah.
Using them as a lens to examine her own experiences and connect with something larger than herself.
And this connection to mythology isn't limited to her music.
Right.
Remember how she's reimagining the adventures of Millie and Sandra with a picture book focused on spells and rituals?
Right. Yeah, it suggests a fascination with the mystical, with the idea that there are forces beyond our understanding at play in the world.
Precisely, and this exploration of the unknown ties back to the themes of Norse mythology. You know, the sense of wonder and awe in the face of the vastness of the cosmos. The acceptance of the cyclical nature of life and death.
It's like Karen is weaving these ancient threads into her modern narratives.
Yeah.
Creating a tapestry that connects past, present, and future.
And it's this ability to bridge the gap between the familiar and the extraordinary that makes her work so compelling.
Right.
She invites us to see the world through a different lens, to embrace the mysteries and find meaning in the unexpected.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Karen Eastland's creative journal, what's the one takeaway you'd leave our listeners with?
I'd say this Karen's journey is a testament to the transformative power of creativity. It's about embracing your passions, exploring new ideas, and finding inspiration in unexpected places.
Right.
And it's a reminder that even in a world increasingly driven by technology, the human spirit, with all its complexities and contradictions, remains at the heart of artistic expression.
Beautifully said. Karen Eastland's Week 9 was a whirlwind of activity. But it also offered us a glimpse into the mind of a truly unique and multifaceted artist. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. And until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and never be afraid to let your imagination run wild.
Thanks for stopping you.